Yes. We're all here and ready for another exciting adventure with Explore Tulsa. We start the show with a Broadway star.
Then we'll set our sights to the big screen.
Followed by the Tulsa Deer Hunter.
Plus a challenge that couldn't be funner.
Hi, I'm Stevie Fernandez.
And I'm Trish Whitmer. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's Explore Tulsa.
So what do you think? Do I look like one of the characters from Greater Tuna?
You look like, something alright. I'm just not sure you're doing Joe Sears and these characters any justice.
I love the Greater Tuna plays. I've seen them perform in Austin when they were first getting started, and I saw them do Tuna Christmas here at the Brady Theater.
So you're a big fan?
One of the biggest.
Oh, then you'll enjoy this early Christmas present as we spend time with Joe Sears at the Tulsa Spotlight Theater.
I am from Bartlesville, Oklahoma. I'm a native, but I tend to, when you're from Bartlesville, you tend to hang out in Tulsa a lot when you're a teenager. I think Peoria was the big street back then that everybody hung out on. But I started off in Bartlesville, just doing, high school things. Things meaning, homecoming assemblies, a few stage plays. And became interested in theater and followed it through at college. And after college, I went to New York. I started off actually to become an art teacher. I was an artist, I wanted to be an art teacher, and I went off to become a teacher. But somehow or another that acting thing came around again, and they roped me into the drama department over there at Tahlequah NSU. And I became successful in that. I won a couple of acting awards, and I thought, this is pretty good. But I also enjoy good comedy. We created Greater Tuna. Most of the people here in Tulsa know me from my comedy of the Tuna plays and characterizations, Aunt Pearl, Bertha Buemiller, Reverend Spikes, the sheriff, Joe Bob Lipsy, the little theater director. I have become him. I've become Joe Bob Lipsy.
Jody Buemiller, get yourself in here and finish your breakfast.
The Tuna plays came about down on 6th Street in Austin. So I moved to Austin in 1980 and helped start a theater company there. And it was on 6th Street, but that's back when the hippies ran things in Austin, and it was all done by being a flower child. I spent my 30s and 40s there. I lived there, I'm still living there, 38 years. And so now I've moved back to Bartlesville, and I'm living the quiet, comfortable life near a park. But in Austin, the vitality of what it is, I was the history of that. Greater Tuna started on 6th Street as a part of a big entertainment district. It's still a huge entertainment district. I mean, now they have the famous Willie Nelson Austin City Limits Theater down there in the 6th Street area. But it used to just be, back clubs, nightclubs, comedy clubs, and that's where Tuna started, was at a comedy club on 6th Street.
Today we have the winners of the Tuna Junior High American Heritage Essay Contest for this year. And this year's winner is Connie Karp. She's a daughter of W.H. and Vera Karp here in Tuna, and the name of her essay was titled, Human Rights, Why Bother?
I tell you, it should make the citizens of Tuna proud to know that we're still producing well-educated students who know what America's all about.
They do.
Texans love to laugh at themselves. They don't mind. And I think Oklahomans are that way. I think everybody enjoys a good laugh. So we were in a really good element for people to be able to laugh at themselves. And so taking on the moral majority in the early 80s with comedy rather than placards and aren't you ugly and aren't you non-moral and aren't you all unmoral, and we did it through comedy and satire, and it worked, and the message got out even better.
I give up, Coach. Take me out. I can't find the news. So we're going to say good night to you.
Good night.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Until then, remember our motto here at Radio OKKK. If you can find some place you like better than Tuna, move.
Go on.
Get out of here.
When we got to Washington with the show, it was a huge hit. And that's how the president, everybody in Washington kept saying, you have got to go see this crazy show from Texas. It's so funny. And by that time, we had good reviews. Well, the president, that's how he came to see us on a very cold, wintry night. So when the president came, it's a surprise to the audience to see the president walk in. And it was just a thrilling night to be performing your show for a president. President Bush wanted to come back at intermission and say hello. And we have to change from characters into the Tasty Cream girls. And we got pantyhose and earrings and lipstick. And I said, no. I said, I'm not going to meet the president in a dress. I wouldn't do it. They said, well, I said, I'm not going to meet the president in a dress. I said, I'll say hi after the show. And I'm glad, because there's no telling what those characters would have said to him. You find a protege, you find a way of sharing your art form. That's what artists do. They hand it down, they hand the craft down. If you're a true artist, that's what you do. It's my time in my life to do that, and so I'm choosing to do it in my home state in Oklahoma. I'm very active in the arts, and that's one of the other things that I took on recently was, don't come after the arts in Oklahoma. There's so much that we deserve and that we have already. Don't take it away from us, I mean, we have children who excel in the arts. I mean, I'm one of them, but I'm not the only one. I mean, shall we name the people? And that's just in acting, in the performing arts. Then you've got music and singers. Look at all the singers from Oklahoma. So there's a lot to stand up and say we need our arts. I'm happy to promote that and to help hand that down.
Well, she'll talk just as plain as any decent gal.
That Joe Sears, he really cracks me up.
He is very funny, and the best part is that he makes himself available to mentor actors at the Spotlight Theater. Visit spotlighttheater.org to learn more.
Oh, I'm a natural, Trish. I should go audition for The Drunkard.
Oh, you're a natural, all right. And if the stage doesn't really work out for you, then there's always the big screen.
I like the way you think, Trish. That's a great idea. I'd be a great leading man like, Bogart or Grant.
Yeah, you'd definitely be in the top 3, and I'm referencing Stooges here. But let's let Tulsa's movie guy, Tom Newman, make the call when we meet him next on Explore Tulsa.
Welcome to White House Mansion, where we are ready to make your event extraordinary.
Located near Tulsa Hills, White House Mansion is country living in the city. This unique, historic mansion is the perfect venue for your wedding reception, party, or holiday gathering. We can accommodate up to 500 guests with both indoor and outdoor options and plenty of parking. If you're looking for a charming, special, and flexible location for your big day,
Call us now to make memories that will last for a lifetime.
Hi, Dr. Robert Zellner here. For over 20 years, I've offered affordable, convenient eye care in Tulsa. Right now, you can get 1 pair of glasses or contact lenses starting at just $99 or my 2-pair deal for $129. Hey, and as always, the eye exam's included. Walk-ins are always welcome. Glasses are ready in about an hour. Plus, we have over 2,000 frames to choose from. We're open 7 days a week. Come see why we're voted Tulsa's best. And our drive-thru at 69th and Memorial makes pickup simple and easy. For the best eye care value in Tulsa, Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates.
Hello again, and thanks for making Explore Tulsa a part of your TV viewing.
Lights, camera, action.
Laying it on a little thick, don't you think, Stevie?
Are you kidding me? Impact Productions has a feature film playing in theaters all over the country and right here in Tulsa, and Tom Newman was a huge part of that production. That all has to be followed by huge theatrics. Can we get the giant snow machine over here?
Oh, why don't we just visit with Tom and learn about his new movie, The Christmas Candle?
Let it snow! Let it snow! Let it snow!
When I graduated from Oral Roberts University, I wanted to do something that would make a difference in people's lives, and I went to work directly out of school and worked with Billy Joe Doherty, the founding pastor at Victory Christian Center. But one of the things that was always in my heart of hearts was to communicate a story that would make a difference in people's lives. So I'd heard about this dramatic dance show called Toymaker and Son. We flew, I think it was 107 students from the school and some friends from ORU. We flew up to Canada, Toronto, Canada. We went and we saw that show that night, and I'll never forget as long as I live. It was a dramatic dance allegory of a toy maker and a son. The toys represent the people of the world. And I saw in that the most amazing demonstration of God's love in this very simple allegory. And interestingly enough, when we were done with it, I found myself just sobbing because it was such a powerful story. It was May of 1982. We started touring Toymaker. We called it Toymaker's Dream. We added a bunch of about $500,000 in lasers and special effects, and we toured that show for the next 16 years, going all over the world, places like China, Cuba, the former Soviet Union, Romania, Bulgaria, places you couldn't go and basically talk about God in an open format. And I'll never forget, I'd pulled into New York City. We were performing off-Broadway in the Lambs Theater there. And there was this article in the theater section about Yul Brynner. And it said, Yul Brynner is the most celebrated performer in Broadway history. He had performed The King and The King and I 2,800 times over 10 years in front of nearly 4 million people. And I know that was to celebrate a huge accomplishment. And when I read that, it had just the opposite effect. I went, oh my gosh. I really wanted to reach the world. And I literally left the road 2 weeks later and began to study video and film and making television commercials and things that way, because I said, you know, I want to share with a broader audience. Hello, I'm Tom Newman.
And I'm Mark Swanson.
And Mark directed this film.
And Tom produced the film.
So I look for good ideas that I believe are going to move people in such a way that will cause them to be better people, cause them to be more sharing with their neighbors, basically to pick up more of the golden rule. I always look for stories that basically let people know that God loves them.
This is not a show you would see in that big city of yours.
Do not be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy, which will be unto all people.
Technology is rapidly changing. One of the big things for me was make the transition from film to digital. You know, as a film producer, when you say film producer, very few people actually produce on film anymore, so I don't know if many people will ever be able to really say that in years to come. But it costs a lot of money to shoot film, and for anybody who doesn't know it, you put these big reels, there's these 1,000-foot megs on your camera, and it rolls about 8 minutes, and you just kind of shot through 150, 200 bucks, and that's before processing it. And now you put a digital camera and take a little chip and you stick it in the camera and you roll, and you roll, and you roll, and 40 minutes later you pull that little thing out. And I don't like anything we used on this, or download it, dump it back into your system, and then stick it back in the camera and roll again. There's no cost. Well, it opens up the world for people that have good ideas, and I think in the years to come we'll see a major transition in the industry with people who are content providers, people who really have something to say and they know how to say it well. That's the beauty of this technology. It does give those people a shot as well.
Okay, get back in there, step up to the plate, hit the ball.
Okay.
All right. Time. Come here. Nothing great happens when you hold back. Okay, let's go. Come on.
I feel like Home Run is entertaining, but it also is a value-based, very strong value-based picture on what it intends to do to help move people a certain direction. So many people have been hurt from divorce, alcoholism, being left alone, just separation issues. We've all gone through life's hurts, habits, and hang-ups, and I think Celebrate Recovery is an amazing organization to help people that way. So that's why we elected to make that film and move it forward. Christmas Candle is a story about Christmas. First of all, it's about an angel who comes and touches a candle in a candle maker's shop every 25 years, and whoever has lit this candle and prayed their Advent prayers during the Christmas holiday season, their prayer has been answered. So you can imagine the amount of people who want this candle, the amount of requests. It just sets up a perfect storm. But it's, you know, my primary purpose in making it is to say, listen, miracles happen every day to people all over. We got an amazing cast, I'll just say it that way. I've never had the privilege of working with such experienced, well-known actors as I did on this film. And shooting in England, working with British film crews, our director of photography spent the last 11 years of his life on Harry Potter. And so from Harry Potter to our little movie, we were thrilled to have Mike Brewster. I think it's the best work I've ever done.
The Christmas Candle does look like a must-see holiday classic.
The movie's in theaters right now, or visit thechristmascandlemovie.com to learn more.
So, what do you want for Christmas, Stevie?
I'm thinking a Red Ryder BB gun. That way I can compete with all the other great hunters and the American Whitetail Authority.
I think you're gonna need a little more than a BB gun. But I'll tell you what, let's ask champion and professional hunter Ryan Woolard when we return with more Explore Tulsa.
Are you still paying rent or tired of repairing that old home? I'm Mike Harrison with Lifeway Homes, and it's never been easier to own a brand new home. To celebrate the opening of our newest location, take advantage of our drastic reduction of all in-stock double wides. We have payments as low as $395 a month. For the next 10 buyers, I'll throw in a washer and dryer. So stop renting and start owning. Check us out at lifewayhomes.net or on East Admiral Place. Merry Christmas from Lifeway Homes.
If you love you some hunting, and what Oklahoman doesn't, then you'll be so glad you stuck around for more Explore Tulsa.
That's right, Stevie. Champion hunters have decided to share many of their secrets and to find a safe, friendly way to compete by creating the American Whitetail Authority.
And right here in Tulsa, we're home to one of the AWA's newest champions, Ryan Woolard.
I think hunting is such a core part of me. It has a lot to do with my career choice. I went to Kansas State University and graduated with a bachelor's in architecture and planning. And it's a challenging career. I love it. There's aspects of it that drive me crazy, and it's tough, and every day it's something new. And I think that because I have an awareness of my impact on the built environment, it helps me respect the unbuilt environment even more. For me to be in a tree or even a gravel road getting to my property, it's therapy. It's the best therapy I can ever imagine. About May, I was coming out of Bass Pro Shop with my bow. I got a new piece for it that I needed, and ran into somebody, and they asked if I was interested in a competition. And then I obviously right away thought about 3D archery. So I said, sure. Walked around the corner, and there's this big RV and camera crew set up and doing interviews. So I filled out the application and did the interview, and was called back probably in August. And then the show starts, and I meet all the other competitors. And the regional that I was in the Kiamichi Link Mountains. And we had competitors from all across the US at that event. It just so happened that was the one that I was in. And very tough competition. These guys were all amazing hunters, and I ended up winning the competition, which got me to the World Finals, which happened at Giles Island in Mississippi. The slugs that we were shooting were blanks. The scopes were of a company called Elkine. It's a military-based scope that records while you're in action. So we were able to catch video of the deer in our scopes and where our crosshairs were the very instant that the trigger was pulled. So that was a way for them to score our shot placement and how ethical we were on picking which shot to take. In conjunction with that, they were able to score the bucks, how big their racks were, and estimate how old they are. And then on the last day, we all had camera crews with us, following us, which obviously the video there is going to be a little bit more high quality than what was on the scopes. Why we shoot blanks is because obviously if we have 5 deer a day and we shoot for 3 days, that's 15 deer possibly that we could shoot. There's no state in the United States that will allow you to take that many deer. But there's no other way to gauge or to see someone's skills or theory pan out or not pan out.
I'm looking for habitual travel corridors, not because they're going to a food source, but because this is where they always bed. It's because it's easiest to travel through the woods and through the mountains. That's what I'm looking for today, and I've been successful so far, finding a lot of good trails, and I've seen a lot of deer.
The hunting industry is huge right now. In Oklahoma alone, there's over $50 million worth of revenue created by outdoorsmen. Sale of tags and licensing, and then you've got travel expenses and that sort of thing. I think that this show will get more people interested, and not necessarily the hardcore hunters, but people that like to see competitions of any sort. So, you know, our audience grows, and those people think, well, heck, I might just try hunting. And so the more people we can get into hunting, the better it is. I do live in the city and I work in the city, and the city means so much to me, mostly Tulsa. You know, when I moved here in 2000, Tulsa was really an infant in its development. The downtown had lost its growth and its excitement mostly after 5 o'clock. And now we've got apartments and condos going up that are sold out before they're finished. And to be a part of watching and even having something to do with the growth and the development of Tulsa has been great. And the firm I work for, the Macintosh Group, we're very plugged in to all the happenings in Tulsa, and excited about the architecture that we do and that we can offer.
Now that kind of hunting I could get into. Serious competition that's like a massive video game.
To learn more about the sport for yourself, visit awapro.com.
You know, Trish, in Tulsa, kids are learning how to deal with the elements in a competitive way while still working together.
Oh, you must be talking about the Helmsar Challenge.
I sure am. And we'll see what they're up to next when we come back with more Explore Tulsa.
Welcome to White House Mansion, where we are ready to make your events extraordinary.
Located near Tulsa Hills, White House Mansion is country living in the city. This unique, historic mansion is the perfect venue for your wedding reception, party, or holiday gathering. We can accommodate up to 500 guests with both indoor and outdoor options and plenty of parking. If you're looking for a charming, special, and flexible location for your big day,
call us now to make memories that will last for a lifetime.
If you were ever wondering what your kids are doing all day at school, then you'll be so glad you continue to watch Explore Tulsa.
Well, we can't speak for every day, but on special days, there is a good chance that they are learning a team-building exercise at Tulsa Public Schools' Helmsar Challenge course.
When Dr. Sawyer was here about 6 years ago, he decided that he wanted a facility large enough to be able to handle all of our district kids, and of course we serve other districts as well. So he met with Mr. Helmrich and Mr. Zero and kind of talked about, that was kind of one of his finale things he would like to do for the district. And Mr. Helmrich and Mr. Zero believed in what we were doing a lot, and that's how it evolved. It was right there. Well, that's the neat thing about this type of facility is, like, for instance, this group here today is looking for leadership. So, you know, our focus in everything that we do is talking about leadership and what are the components of leadership and how that transports to life. But then we have like a 6th grade program that's on anti-bullying, diversity, and team building. And then we have an 8th grade kayaking program where we take them out into the wilderness, we do some treks, we do some kayaking. And then we have a 9th grade program that centers around the ultimate gift, and we talk about life lessons such as the gift of learning, the gift of money, the gift of a day, the gift of gratitude, all of those kind of things, and ties that in to the challenge course as well. Every course has its own uniqueness. It's developed so elementary kids can go on it. There's a route for them. It's developed so middle schools, there's a route for them. There's an actual route for high schools and corporates. So each course, even though they may look very similar, because, you know, we have 8 basic courses out here. We're an educational facility, so we're not like, you know, come pay to play. We don't do that at all. This is like Booker T. They're coming out for a leadership day. We do, like I said, all the 6th grade Tulsa Public Schools, but we've got schools like Montecasino, we work with Cassia Hall, we have groups that come down from Kansas. Say for instance, we do a middle school, and their teachers now are saying, we're seeing leadership out of kids that used to never sit and talk in class at all or never even speak. We never even knew they existed. And now they're stepping out, being initiative, being engaged in things that they weren't before. Oh my gosh, the stories could be endless, but we had one autistic kid that came, and it took us forever to get him in a harness, because, you know, autistic kids sometimes do not like things to touch. We got him in the harness, he went up with one of my instructors off the blue zip line. He went down. The first time he was scared to death, which is typical, but he went down attached to one of my guys. Got off there, and it was just like his eyes went huge and up, and he wanted to go again. And I think my instructor was on like the 6th time of doing it, but the little boy goes, "Do it again?" And apparently it was his first words he had ever spoken, ever. And so teacher starts crying. I'm thinking, what's happened? You know, is something wrong? And it was just tears of joy because the kid spoke for the first time. There is a big, huge push, and I think that took about, maybe 5 years ago, where challenge courses were really emphasized to be one big way of getting kids into physical fitness, because it was something that every kid can do, no matter how they're built, okay? Whether they're an athlete, whether they're not an athlete. And so you gain some success in physical activity in one area, it's going to transfer to the rest of your life. You're going to feel like you can do some other things. And that's what these kids are learning, is they're conquering things that they never realized they couldn't do, but sure weren't going to ever try. And so we're asking them to try, then they conquer it, and then they see, oh, maybe there isn't that much that I can't do.
Wow, I'm glad they tie you to a harness because I get a little woozy up there.
Now wait a minute. I've seen you stand on top of some of the tallest buildings in Tulsa. Take a GoPro on a zip line and shoot video from a biplane.
Woozy, and a little sick to my tummy.
Oh, well, at least you're a real trooper, Stevie. And in case you want to learn more about the challenge course, visit tulsaschools.org.
Stick around, more Explore Tulsa's just ahead.
Hi, Dr. Robert Zellner here. For over 20 years, I've offered affordable, convenient eye care in Tulsa. Right now, you can get one pair of glasses or contact lenses starting at just $99, or my two-pair deal for $129. Hey, and as always, the eye exam's included. Walk-ins are always welcome. Glasses are ready in about an hour. Plus, we have over 2,000 frames to choose from. We're open 7 days a week. Come see why we're voted Tulsa's best. And our drive-thru at 69th and Memorial makes pickup simple and easy. For the best eye care value in Tulsa, Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates.
Be sure and stop in next week when we meet folks around town who are filled with Christmas spirit and wonderful light displays.
We want to thank Joe Sears for all the laughs he has brought us throughout the years.
Thanks too to Tom Newman of Impact Productions. We wish you and the Christmas Candle huge success, and to Ryan Woolard with the American Whitetail Authority. Good luck with the hunt.
Plus thanks to Carrie and her crew at the Helmsar Challenge Course for showing us all the fun Tulsa kids get to enjoy.
Remember, if you miss any of the show, you can always catch us at exploretulsa.com.
As always, each week we feature the people, places, and attractions that make us proud to call Tulsa our home.
Hey, don't forget to like us on Facebook. Share with us someone you think Tulsa should know more about.
Plus remember, Explore Tulsa is brought to you by Video Revolution, located on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Stop by, say hello to Ron and all the guys for all your home entertainment needs.
And we welcome Explore Tulsa's newest title sponsor, Dr. Robert Zollner and Associates.
Home of the two-pair for $99 deal with 2 locations, 3030 South Harvard and 69th and Memorial.
Well, that's all the time we have for you on this week's show, but we'll see you next week right here on Explore Tulsa.